It says we are talented, but we need to discover those talents, harness it, and we will do well. In your point, by the time I finished that interview with Dele Adetiba, I was speechless.
It left me speechless, really, because, I mean, he's raised some really, really salient points. He said some very, very core truths, because he's talked about the fact that there has to be exposure quite early. I mean, there has to be participation. And when you look around our sports, there's a general lack of desire, Austin, to make it better. There's a general lack of willingness to be able to do something about it. We've come to accept that, okay, it's like this, so it's fine. We're so lackadaisical, we're so sloppy about developing sports. I mean, he's talked about exposure. He talked about if you get 100,000 people to participate, he said 5 years, half of them would drop off. 25 years on, a few years later, half of them would drop off. But what will remain is a core of experienced, exposed, determined boxers who have gone through so much but still want to do this thing.
Particularly from the base.
He raised another point. He said, no matter how talented you are, if you're not starting before 15, you're not likely to go very far. And it's something that we haven't quite come to understand, that talents are harnessed quite early. So there has to be exposure very early. It has to be participation very early, because talent is nothing without exposure.
That's right.
Talent is nothing without the necessary platform to be able to compete regularly, because there has to be a level of consistency. He's talked about facilities.
Yeah.
Austin will go to the National Stadium, and the boxing facility there is an absolute disgrace. I mean, when you say, people say, come on, you're disparaging our sport.
It's there. Go and see it. Go to the National Stadium.
It's there for all
the
to
National
see.
Boxing
It's an
Gym.
absolute disgrace to our nation. And it's something that we've got to sit down and show a willingness. There has to be a willingness. He's talked about it. There has to be a willingness to want to do things differently, because talents are bound, Austin.
I know. That's how I felt. So that's why Channels Television, we are leading the revolution. We're going back to the basics with the Channels Kids Cup. And of course, the Under 17 Track and Field Classics. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, Joseph won't escape this. He will tell us how he's feeling also. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at what's going on in our world of sports. We're giving attention to the grassroots. So much is going wrong at the grassroots. In your bank said there's no willingness anymore. Some persons are looking at and there is Mikel Obiano. Why are we going to one school to look for one new talent? Or when there's a competition, say, let's just do it anyhow. No, we must make a U-turn. And I said it the other day that there's nothing wrong with going back where you lost it, where you made that mistake. So Channels Television, we're not looking at anybody. We're just going to keep blazing the trail. We started with the Channels Kids Cup. It's doing so well. You can follow your superstars. We want to discover new ones, particularly that they're young. That's what Dele Adetiba said, that some persons start at 3. When they are 15, you'll be saying they have about 9 valuable years of experience, and that's what it is to give attention to the grassroots. He also mentioned that we're not trying anymore. We're not trying anymore.
First of all, Austin, since I've been watching Sports Tonight and been here, this is the most incisive analysis of the problem that we have in our sports. And not just that, our society in general. We want to build a 5-story building from the 4th floor. We want to design a model that is different from what others are using, and we want to excel with it. With it comes with cheating, age cheats, and all manner of shenanigans and underhand methods we apply in order to succeed. It's very simple. There's nothing esoteric about it. If you want to get things done, you have to start from the base level. At least let those who are interested in the sport have access to this fast. You never know what you are capable of doing until you are exposed to it. From then, people begin to drop down, and then people begin to pick it up. If you don't expose them, if you don't let them get into it with their free will, and then excel based on their natural proclivity, how do you intend to succeed? And the thing is that if you really look at it psychologically, it's almost as if we have remodeled our brain, you know, and you know, this is the way we can get it. This is the way we want to go about it. And as a people, because I was telling him earlier that we are where we are because of who we are. It's almost as if we don't have the ability to plan for 5, 10 years, 20 years, which is what is essential if you want to succeed, you know, in international sports. Michael Phelps started swimming at the age of 7. Tiger Woods.
First Olympic was 14 years.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, when you miss it from that level, what happens is that you have to apply underhand method.
Wasn't it on this show I told both of you that at 16, Rafael Nadal was playing against his future coach in a competition that he eventually won? That's what it is. So I know they are sad. Dele Adetiba has made them sad tonight, and a lot of other persons with a desire to see change in this country. I'm not so sad because we've started. We are on the right path now that we're giving attention to school sports, to the grassroots. We started with football. We're doing the same with athletics now. And from the maiden edition of the Channels Track and Field Classics, we know that we are already winning. So what are you waiting for? We invite you to join us on this grassroots campaign. Let's turn it around. Dele Adetiba said back in the day they had the Empire Day. They just call everybody. And so Mr. John Mama, who is the visionary, says, okay, even when some persons come and they don't reach what we want, let them still run, just so we can discover talents. And that's what we want to keep doing. So we must go back to that base. Let me be to you guys. Let's move on. I don't want you guys sad.